Hello, my name is Sanikia Bass, and I am an instructional coach at Martin Luther King Elementary School here in Albany, Georgia. Today, I will be reflecting on the Teacher Leadership Standards 3 and 4. As I read through these standards, I recognize that they represent the heart of effective teacher leadership. They go beyond individual classroom practices and focus on how teacher leaders influence curriculum, instruction, assessment, and pedagogy across the entire learning community. These standards remind me that teacher leadership is not about position, it's about impact. The impact on teachers, students, and the system that supports learning. Standard 3 emphasizes a deep and comprehensive understanding of curriculum and the alignment of curriculum instruction and assessment to standards. As a teacher leader, this standard is critical because it ensures that teaching is intentional, cohesive, and focused on what students truly need to know, understand, and be able to do. Curriculum is not just a document or a pacing guide. It's actually a living framework that guides instructional decisions and shapes students' experiences. One of the most important aspects of this standard is possessing in-depth knowledge of one's discipline and understanding how curriculum is structured and sequenced across grade levels. As a teacher leader, I must understand not only what students are expected to learn in a single grade, but how that learning progresses across grade levels and over time. This vertical understanding allows me to support teachers in seeing the bigger picture and how foundational skills connect to more complex concepts and how instructional gaps or misalignments can impact student achievement. This standard also discusses the importance of collaboration. Effective curriculum implementation does not happen in isolation. Teacher leaders must engage colleagues in meaningful collaborative planning that focuses on improving teaching and learning. Through structured conversation, data analysis, and shared reflections, teachers are able to align instruction, refine strategies, and ensure that all students have access to high quality instruction. So, as I previously stated, I am an instructional coach, and we have collaborative planning twice a week. Tuesday is whole group where all the teachers come to the coaches cafe, and we work together. We work with the curriculum. I am an ELA instructional coach. Although I work with all content, my primary content area is ELA. And having new standards, I have to work with the teachers with deconstructing the standards, knowing the expectation and the outcome of the standards, as well as working with a new curriculum. We implemented a new curriculum this year, and as I stated in my previous courses or videos, teachers were afraid. New standards and new curriculum, that's a lot. And so doing collaborative planning, I've worked with the teachers to deconstruct the standards as well as work with them on the different types of activities they're planning when teaching the standards. So it's just very important that, doing collaborative planning, it's not just a sit and get, but teachers are able to leave with resources. They're able to leave with strategies. They're able to leave with a better understanding of, what they're teaching inside their classroom. Another key component of this standard is the use of research-informed protocols to audit curriculum and analyze student work. This practice ensures that instructional decisions are grounded in evidence rather than assumptions. By examining student work, teachers gain insight into what students understand, where misconceptions exist, and how instruction can be adjusted to meet diverse needs. So after assessments, we analyze the assessments. We do a data analysis where teachers, they pull up their assessment data and they identify the most missed questions. And with that, we're able to talk about, well, how did you teach it? And then they're able to discuss with their partner teachers, their co-teachers. And a lot of times, light bulbs come on. Well, maybe we didn't go as in depth, with the teaching. So how can we go back and restructure our small group, and group the students together that might have missed the same skills. And a lot of light bulbs came on. I had my high students and my low students together because because this set of students just did not understand this skill. So that's been very helpful with implementing, the new curriculum and the new standard. While this standard 3, it focused on curriculum and alignment, standard 4, it centers on pedagogy and the role of the teacher leader as a model, mentor, and coach. This standard reinforces the idea that teacher leaders must practice and support others in refining their instructional craft. Leadership in education is most effective when it's visible, authentic, and grounded in practice. Modeling exemplary instructional practices is one of the most powerful ways a teacher leader influences each other or influences others. When teachers see effective strategies in action, whether through demonstration of lesson, co-teaching, or shared planning, they're more likely to implement those strategies in their own classroom. So this standard focuses on the importance of grounding instructional practices in current research, ensuring that teaching methods are not only engaging, but also effective and research-based. So in my position, I don't just walk inside the classrooms and evaluate teachers. Although I have to do Georgia Lead observations, that's not always the case. And I make sure I explain that to my teachers when I go inside the classroom. I'm here to assist. I'm here to help. So I go in, I model lessons. And when I'm modeling lessons, I have teachers, you can sit and watch me and, jot down takeaways. And after that, we get together and we talk about what they saw, what they liked, what they disliked, they had any questions about it, any concerns, and how they can take these strategies and implement them inside their classroom. And I allow them to say, Miss Bass, come back and watch me do this and give me, just constructive feedback. So that's very important. Another critical element of this standard is guiding teachers in designing high-quality, meaningful learning experiences. This includes supporting lesson planning, instructional delivery, and the development of student work that requires critical thinking and deep understanding. Teacher leaders must help teachers move beyond surface-level instruction tasks by encouraging higher-order questioning, thoughtful discourse, and student-centered learning. And so this kind of support, it empowers teachers to create classrooms where students are actually engaged and challenged. Technology integration is also another important aspect of this standard, because teacher leaders must model and support the thoughtful use of technology to enhance instruction and student learning. This means helping teachers select tools that aligns with instructional goals, support engagement, and provide meaningful opportunities for practice, assessment, and feedback. So recently, we implemented a new plan, and because we take the NWEA map and we also have iExcel in my district, we put the students' RIT score into iExcel, their RIT score from map into iExcel, and it created each student a personal study plan. And so we encourage the teachers, put the students on the plan, let them work through their plan, doing independent small group. So after 7 weeks, we decided to just pull the data to see if the students are working through their plan. And we were shocked. There were so many students that were not working towards their plan. I mean, I saw 2%, progress on some students' plan. And so we presented that data to the teachers, and we just asked, what challenges are they having? And a lot of them said time. When can I implement that? And one teacher, we had a meeting. She asked to have a meeting outside of that because she wanted to know, how could she implement it? And we just ended up just talking about the idle time that she had in her classroom, where instead of taking her kids to the restroom for as a whole group, she was standing at the door and just saying one at a time, and all the other students just sitting there just looking. So she said, they can be doing that time. Another suggestion, morning work, and then doing their independent group time as well. And she came back and she said it really worked. You know, she see that her students are increasing. And I have another teacher, she says she's afraid of technology. It's just not her thing, is what she says. But we talked about like the type of world that we live in. You know, technology is just, the world is transforming because of technology. So I went inside her classroom and just helped her implement it. And she's doing amazing. One thing, that this is a lady who was afraid to touch a computer, but now each week she pre-records herself saying the spelling word. So as soon as the students come in on Friday, they're able to grab their iPad and take their spelling test. If they're absent, she doesn't have to pull them one by one to give the test. It's already done in a video that she places informative. So that shows that once, as a teacher leader, you know, once you model and you show the teachers how to use a certain program, and you have to be consistent with the teachers, it's just not a one-time thing, that they'll become more receptive. I'm always encouraging my teachers to have a growth mindset and be accepted to change. So technology integration is very important, as stated in Standard 4. So both of these standards, they reinforce the idea that effective teacher leadership requires both deep content knowledge and strong pedagogy expertise. They emphasize alignment, collaboration, modeling, and continuous improvement. Lastly, these standards matter because they ensure that teaching and learning are purposeful, aligned, and student-centered. They challenge teacher leaders to think beyond classroom and consider how their knowledge, skills, and actions impact the school community. So embodying standards 3 and 4, teacher leaders help build a culture of collaboration, reflection, and excellence, one that supports teachers and ensures that all students have access to meaningful and high-quality learning experiences. Thank you.